It's fast, iconic, and once set the standard for light jets worldwide. This is the $10 million Learjet 45, a sleek private jet with coast-to-coast range, a timeless cabin, and the performance to match. Today, we're stepping inside to see what made it legendary and why it's still a favorite among private pilots and executives alike. Cabin. Step inside the Learjet 45, and you immediately understand why this aircraft commands such respect in the private jet world. The cabin stretches 19 feet and 9 inches from the cockpit door to the aft bulkhead, giving you more room than most people's living rooms. At 5 feet and 1 inch wide and 4 feet and 11 inches tall, you're not going to be doing jumping jacks in here. But for a light jet, these dimensions are absolutely remarkable. The moment you settle into one of those hand-stitched leather seats, you realize this isn't just transportation. It's a mobile office, bedroom, and entertainment center rolled into one. The standard configuration seats 8 passengers. But here's where it gets interesting. These aren't your typical airplane seats. We're talking about fully articulating, ergonomically designed thrones that can swivel, recline, and adjust in ways that would make a luxury car jealous. Each seat is positioned with its own window, so every passenger gets their own personal view of the world below. The cabin features a Club 4 seating arrangement up front, meaning 4 seats face each other around a central table that's perfect for business meetings, card games, or just spreading out your laptop and getting work done at altitude. Behind that, you'll find additional seating that can be configured as forward-facing seats, or even a small divan, depending on your preferences and mission requirements. But let's talk about the details that separate the Learjet 45 from lesser aircraft. The interior can be customized with premium materials like burled walnut, carbon fiber accents, and soft leather surfaces that feel more like a high-end yacht than an airplane. The lighting system isn't just functional, it's ambient, adjustable, and designed to reduce fatigue during long flights. You can dim the lights for rest or brighten them for work, all controlled from elegant switches that feel substantial in your hand. Climate control in the 45 is nothing short of impressive. Independent temperature zones mean the guy who's always hot and the woman who's always cold can finally travel together in peace. The environmental control system maintains cabin pressure equivalent to an altitude of just 6,000 feet. Even when you're cruising at 41,000, your ears won't pop, your sinuses won't ache, and you'll arrive at your destination feeling refreshed instead of drained. Cockpit. Move forward to the cockpit, and you're entering a realm where cutting-edge technology meets pilot expertise. The Learjet 45 features a Collins ProLine 4 integrated flight deck that was revolutionary when it was introduced and remains impressive today. We're talking about 4 large liquid crystal displays that provide pilots with more information than early space missions had access to. The primary flight displays show everything from airspeed and altitude to attitude and heading information, all presented in crisp, easy-to-read graphics that eliminate the confusion of traditional analog gauges. The multifunction displays handle navigation, weather radar, traffic collision avoidance, and terrain awareness, essentially giving pilots a god's-eye view of everything happening around the aircraft. But here's what really sets the 45 apart: the flight management system. This isn't just an autopilot. It's like having a computer co-pilot that can calculate fuel consumption, optimize flight paths for weather, and execute precision approaches to airports that would challenge even experienced pilots. The system can store hundreds of waypoints, airways, and approach procedures for airports around the world. The cockpit also features dual independent hydraulic systems, redundant electrical systems, and backup instrumentation that ensures safety even if primary systems fail. Pilots have access to weather radar that can see storm cells up to 320 nautical miles away, giving them plenty of time to navigate around weather that would ground lesser aircraft. Stick around until the end to see the most surprising fact about what it actually costs to operate one of these machines per hour. The number will shock you. Engine and performance. Now let's talk about what makes this jet actually fly, and fly impressively. The Learjet 45 is powered by 2 Honeywell TFE 731 engines, each producing 3,500 pounds of thrust. These aren't just powerful, they're remarkably efficient for their size and capability. These engines can push the 45 to a maximum cruise speed of 535 miles per hour. To put that in perspective, while you're sitting in traffic on the interstate going 65 miles per hour, this aircraft is covering the same distance in less than 8 minutes. The typical cruise speed is around 465 miles per hour, which still gets you from New York to Miami in about 2.5 hours. But speed is just part of the story. The Learjet 45 has a service ceiling of 41,000 feet, which means it flies above most weather, above most other traffic, and in air so thin that fuel efficiency actually improves. At that altitude, you're literally above the clouds, enjoying smooth air while commercial flights below you are getting bounced around by turbulence. Range is where the 45 really shines for a light jet. With 4 passengers, this aircraft can fly 2,235 nautical miles without stopping for fuel. That's enough to get you from Los Angeles to Chicago or from New York to Denver without dealing with connections, layovers, or the hassle of commercial aviation. The takeoff performance is equally impressive. The 45 needs just 4,940 feet of runway to get airborne at maximum weight. This opens up thousands of airports that larger jets simply can't use. While the big boys are limited to major airports with long runways, the 45 can slip into smaller fields closer to your final destination. Landing distance is even more impressive, just 2,500 feet with full brakes and reverse thrust. This means you can land at airports that most private jets can't touch, getting you closer to remote destinations or avoiding the congestion of major hubs. Costs. Let's address the elephant in the room, the price. A new Learjet 45, when it was in production, carried a list price of around $10 million. But like most luxury items, the actual transaction price often varied based on options, configurations, and market conditions. Today, you're looking at the pre-owned market, and that's where things get interesting. A well-maintained Learjet 45 from the early 2000s can be found for anywhere between $2.5 million to $4.5 million, depending on age, condition, avionics upgrades, and total flight hours. A low-time aircraft with recent upgrades might command closer to $6 million. But the purchase price is just the beginning. Annual operating costs for a Learjet 45 typically run between $600,000 to $800,000 per year, assuming you fly about 200 hours annually. This includes fuel, maintenance, insurance, hangar fees, and crew costs if you're not flying it yourself. If you're not ready to buy but want to experience the 45 lifestyle, charter rates typically range from $3,000 to $4,500 per flight hour. That might sound expensive until you consider that a last-minute first-class ticket on a commercial airline can easily cost $2,000. And that's just for one person dealing with all the hassles of commercial travel. Here's the shocking operational cost I promised. When you factor in all expenses, fuel, maintenance, insurance, depreciation, and crew, the true cost of operating a Learjet 45 is approximately $3,800 per flight hour. That's less than what some people spend on a luxury vacation, but you get to do it every time you need to travel. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the world of ultimate luxury, a like and a subscription would mean the world. And for those who dream of flying in style, click right here to watch our video on the inside of the $4.5 million Hawker 4000. See you in the skies.